All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get started. Seated at the front of your mat. Just cross one leg in front of the other leg. Rest your arms on your knees and close your eyes. And before we do anything, just start to notice any little thing that you happen to notice. And notice how you're sitting. Notice how you're breathing. And then notice if you're holding tension anywhere, perhaps the fingers, the hands, the face. And so if we were going to sit in meditation, I would say slouching a little bit is okay. So you want to be very comfortable. You don't want to have to think about using your muscles too much. But let's sit with the intent of twisting. So sit taller. Root your sits bones down. Start to hug the lower belly into your spine. And start to lift every rib above the one below. You start to feel your rib cage expand. So we're going to lengthen out the spine so that we can breathe deeper. So start to deepen your breath. And as you deepen your breath, see if you can maybe get it to be about 3 or 4 seconds long on the inhale. And then about 3 or 4 seconds long on the exhale. And then open your eyes, reach your arms straight up, and reach as high as you can. So let the shoulders draw down and just really stretch up through the sides of your body. Good. Press the sits bones down. Start to twist to the right. Twist without using your left arm too much. So you're really just trying to twist using your core and using the anchors of your hips. And twist a little bit deeper. And then just a little bit deeper. Good. Go ahead and grab your right knee with your left hand. Place the other hand on the floor behind you. Sit nice and tall and twist a little deeper. And notice if you lean back a little bit here. If you do, use your fingertips to prop you up and press your chest forward. Go ahead and look all the way over your left shoulder, your right shoulder. And then look all the way over the opposite shoulder. And release. Reach your arms up. Let's do the same thing. So really press the sits bones down, stretch up really high through the arms, and then twist. Twist to the opposite side. And again, really start to lengthen on the inhales. Twist a little bit deeper on the exhale. And do that one more time. Really stretch up. And then this time, twist and release your hand to the floor, opposite hand on the knee, and pull yourself just a little deeper. Good, all the way over the left shoulder, take a look. And the full range of the cervical spine, look over the opposite shoulder. And then release. You're going to place your hands on the floor and set your feet on the floor. Place them a little wider than the shoulders. Come into a yogi squat. So make sure your toes point out just a little bit. So say 1 and 11 o'clock instead of 3 and 9. And then rest your biceps on top of your kneecaps. And press down with the biceps to lift your chest up. So the weight should be in the heels. You can place the hands together if you want to. Just make sure you're still lifting your chest up. It's a little bit different than what you might be used to with the elbows inside of the thighs. That's okay. We don't want to jam the knees open. Let's start to bring your attention to an intention for your practice. So anything you'd like to acknowledge today, now would be a great time to personalize your practice. It could be something physical, it could be something mental, emotional, it could be for somebody else. Good, last inhale. And then go ahead and fold forward on the exhale. Pivot the feet into parallel. Keep a bend in the knees. And grab your elbows and just hang. You can bend the knees a little bit more if you'd like. So you're going to work from the outer edges of the feet. Make those parallel. And then, if you want to sway a little bit in one direction, maybe sway in the opposite direction. So to really drop into the body. And now let's look for a little more attachment to the breath. So it's ultimately a practice of detachment, but in order to detach, we must attach ourselves to the present moment, which is the heartbeat, the breath, things like that. So let's say 70% of your attention today will be directly on your breath. So on the aperture, the breathing mechanisms, the nostrils, the back of your throat, and how it feels, what it sounds like. You're going to change the cross of your elbow so the opposite arm moves in front. So that means there's a remaining 30% of your attention that would be on anything else that's happening. So my voice is included in that 30%, as well as any music that might be played. Your neighbor is in the 30%, as well as any thoughts that you may have. So we're just choosing not to give our full attention to these distractions. The majority is on your breath. Release your hands down, place them shoulder width apart, step back to downward facing dog. So if you're unfamiliar with it, just set your feet up about the width of your hips. And again, those hands are the shoulder width apart or wider. And start to open the fingers, really spread the fingers wide. And it's just as an exercise, bend both of your knees simultaneously. Bend them both, let's say about a third of the way, so quite a bit. And so more of the weight shifts into your hands at that point, so really drive the floor away from you and pull your hips back. So find as much length from your fingertips to your hips as you can find. So from your ribs, your armpits. Good. Bend your left knee just a little more and straighten your right leg. And the heel might touch the floor, it might not. It's not the goal. And then switch, rebend your right one, straighten out your left leg. The heel drive down. Good. And then again, go ahead and bend both knees just as an exercise. Good. From the inseams of your legs, I want you to start to work your legs a little straighter. So from the big toe side, start to straighten your legs. And when you do this, your heels should disappear from your sight. So they're going to splay a little outwards. And you're going to feel a broadness across your lower back. And even if you don't feel it, it's happening. So broadness across the lower back is going to help protect it. And then just see if you can maintain the pose. So there's actions happening, not many movements are happening. So no fidgeting, just let the breath do the work. So the lower belly lifts, the hips continue to pull up and back, those fingers continue to spread. And you're just having your own experience, even though you're in a room full of people having their own experience. Good. And check your neck, make sure it's relaxed. Oh, these look good. Pull forward to plank position. So plank's upper push-up, shoulders above the wrists. You're going to take a look at your hands. If you're not sure how to set your hands up, let's go ahead and point those index fingers straight ahead. So get those parallel. At a minimum parallel. You could go a little bit more out if you'd like, towards 1 and 11, just like we did our toes earlier. And then, press the floor away from you, but also pull your chest forward. And know that you can always set your knees down here. Setting the knees down is a modification. I view that as a sign of intelligence. Good. Otherwise, just take one more inhale. Pull back to downward facing dog as you exhale. I really want you to start to move from your core. Really move from the inseams of your arms, the inseams of your legs. So think about your thumb, your index finger, how heavy they are. And let's do it again. Inhale, slide forward to plank pose. And then exhale, pull back to downward facing dog. Let's do 2 more of those. Inhale, pull forward to plank. Lengthen out the movement and the breath. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Good. 1 more time. Inhale, slide forward, plank. And then go ahead and pull back to downward facing dog. Good. And from here, go ahead and walk the hands back to your feet again. This time, take your hands behind your back, interlace the fingers. If you're not able to touch your hands, grab a towel. Something to connect the hands with. Otherwise, maybe lift the hands off the back. Potentially, the hands will lift over the head. Keep a little bend in the knees. This isn't about your hamstrings. And again, just reminding you about the attachment right to that breath. And something about the breath really allows you to focus. It allows you to concentrate. And just kind of lets everything else drift away. Let's stay here in the same pose. Just shift over 1 finger, maybe 2. Make it a little bit different. So looking for balance any way we can find it. Good. And then release your arms down. Go ahead and slide your hands up to your shin bones. Start to pull your heart forward so your arms are straight. You're lengthening through your lower back. Go ahead and stay here. Bring your hands to your hips. Bend your elbows up towards the ceiling. There should be a micro bend in your knees. Pull the lower belly in a lot. And then go ahead and press down through the feet and stand all the way up. Good. Once you're up, go ahead and walk up to the front of your mat. Bring the hands together in front of your heart. Just remembering the intention that you set. If you didn't set one, it's never too late. And then without moving, just take a big inhale through the nose. Hold the breath in. Open your mouth. Let it out. Good. Inhale, sweep your arms straight up above. Maybe the palms touch. And then fold forward as you exhale, but you're not in a rush. And then come back to your flat back. Inhale, lengthen out. And for this one, I just want you to step back to plank position. Just step back. Bring your feet all the way together to touch. And then roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. And slowly reach your left arm up. Yeah, really press the floor away from you. You can set that right knee down if you need to. Good. Otherwise, extend the left arm over your left ear. Really reach. Yeah, so the idea is here not to let the pose distract you away from your breath. In a sense, you let the breath distract you away from the pose, especially for you guys that are a little more experienced. Good. Left arm up as you inhale. Slowly change sides. Left hand down. Start to stabilize. And then outer edge of your left foot. Float your right arm up. Consider setting your left knee down. Again, that's the modification. So sometimes it means you're taking it a little easier. Sometimes it means you're injured. Extend your right arm out and over the right ear. Really extend and reach. Yeah, so vibrant through the fingertips. Yeah, that's it. Right arm up as you inhale. Come right back into plank position. Hold plank. Now this next motion, we call it chaturanga. It's like a push-up. You can have the knees down if you need them down. Shift forward 1 inch. Inhale, bend your elbows lower halfway. Like a push-up, press straight up. Downward facing dog. Good, nice job. Let's do 2 more of those. Inhale, slide forward to plank position. Good. Bend the elbows 90 degrees. Exhale. Inhale, straight up to plank. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Uno mas. Inhale, slide forward plank. Remember, shift forward 1 inch. Bend the elbows 90. And then straight up on the inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Bring your feet together so your toes are going to touch. And then from the inseam of your right leg, extend your right leg back. Yeah, remember, we're thinking about the inner edges of the body. So the right arm, inseam of that right arm matches the inseam of your right leg. Hips are squared. And then take an inhale. Bring the knee to your nose, shoulders over wrists as you exhale, tiger's pose. 2 more. Inhale, right leg lifts. And then knee to nose, exhale, squeeze 2nd time. Good. Inhale, right leg high to the sky. One more time, knee to nose. This time, hold it there for 3. Don't hold your breath. 2, look between your hands in 1, and step your right foot between your hands. And then everybody set the left knee down. If you need to pad your left knee up, you can always pad the knee up. Otherwise, bring your hands on your right leg. Good. So start to sink down with the hips. So you want to feel a nice stretch. And then reach your arms up. So palms are going to face each other. Really start to reach up through your arms. Good. Try to create more distance between the top of your right thigh and your navel. So you're going to do that by pressing down to the center of your right heel. Good. And then stay here. Right hand to your right hip. Keep going up with your left fingertips. And then start to tilt. So you're trying to touch that wall over to the right. Yeah. And then if you want, you might release the right hand down to the floor, a few of you with long limbs. And really stretch that side body. Yeah, see if you can get all the way down to that left waist. Good. Come back to center, reach both arms up. Look up to your hands. So whenever you look at somewhere, we call it your drishti, your gaze. It's very powerful wherever you look. Really start to stretch the sides of your body. Merge your hands closer together. They might even touch. And then if you can lift the sides of your ribs a little more, maybe your back body, there's a little back bend for you. Just take one more inhale, and then hands to the floor. Come into a lunge. So just curl your left toes under and lift your left knee up. And firm your left thigh. From your fingertips, pull your chest forward. And then float your arms down by your sides. So you're just elevating the arms. Good. Yeah, so that right knee is positioned directly over the ankle. Go to bring your hands to your hips and bend your back knee just a little. Come up to crescent with the hands on your hips. And go ahead and slide your thumbs a little bit more to your lower back. Yeah, see if you can isolate your sacrum, so the base of your spine, and push it down so you're manually tilting the tailbone under you. Yeah, if you're really tight, bend your left knee more. Yeah, once you feel that manual tilt, you can reach your arms straight up again. So it's kind of like what we did before, only this time you want to merge your thighs towards each other. So squeeze a little bit with your inner thighs, and then bring your right hand to your right hip again, and then start to reach over to that side wall. Only this time you don't want to get too greedy because you'll probably lose your balance. And I would suggest releasing your right hand down to the floor here, only that would be ridiculous. Good. Come back to center. Reach both arms straight up above. Look to the hands. And again, merge the hands together. Yeah. Lift the back body. Take one more inhale. Downward facing dog. Hands to the floor. Step your right foot back. Feet together to touch. And then lift your left leg back. Get it nice and long. What are you doing? Good. Again, keep your hips nice and square. Good. Take an inhale. Knee to nose as you exhale, squeeze. Good. Inhale, pull your left leg back. We'll do 3. Knee to nose as you exhale, second time. Good. Inhale, pull your left leg high, and then knee to nose, squeeze it, and hold it there for 3. Good. 2. Good. Look between your hands in 1. Step it there, and release your right knee down. And release the top of your right foot. Climb both hands on your left thigh. And then get really heavy in your hips. And once you feel pain-free in your back knee, reach both arms up vertically. And again, really start to stretch up. Use your arms. Today, your arms aren't arms. They're stretchers. Side body stretchers, chest stretchers. Good. Remember, you want to distance the thigh from your belly. So drive the left heel into the ground. And then left hand, left hip. Keep going up with your right arm. And then start to tilt, just like you're a little teapot, stretching over that right side body. Good. Yeah, see if you can get so in tune with how you feel that you can feel your right hip stretch a little bit, those intricate little muscles on the outer right thigh. And nice. Come back to center, both arms up, look up to the hands for the drishti. Again, try to lift the side body. You can merge the hands together if it works. Then take one more inhale. Hands to the ground, find your lunge, curl the right toes under, lift your right knee. And then from your fingertips, chest lifts just a bit, and then elevate your arms down by your side. So parallel to the floor, thumbs should point outwards. Good. And then just for the transition, hands to hips, bend the right knee a little bit, crescent pose with the hands on the hips. And then again, want to slide the thumbs a little more to the lower back so you can kind of feel the tailbone, the sacrum. And then, yeah, if you want to bend the right knee more, you can. Try to tilt the tailbone under you like you're trying to hide it. Yeah, this looks good. Reach your arms straight up. And then again, remember the inner thighs. You want to squeeze them in just a little bit for stability, mostly for balance. Left hand, left hip. Again, little teapot. Start to reach up and over. And again, try not to get too greedy. Good. Come back to center. Reach both arms up. So full crescent pose. You might sink a little deeper. You might reach a little higher. Palms touch. Take one more inhale. Downward facing dog. Hands to the floor. Step back. Good. Pull forward, plank position. Let's do plank on the forearms. Bring the forearms down to the ground. Good. So recruit your belly a little more. Now, those of you that automatically go to a negative space here, just set your knees down. They don't have to be lifted. Good. No, I'm not going to hold you here for the 5 hours and 15 minutes and 5 seconds that guy held the other day. I think he was 75 years old. I'm just going to do 1 minute. That's okay. See if you can slow your breath down. Good. Last 3 breaths. Good. Take one more inhale. We call this Sphinx pose. Lay your body down on the ground. Keep your forearms parallel to one another. And make a vertical line from your shoulder to your elbow. So you might need to slide the elbows forward a little bit. Yeah, and then press the hands down. It's an active pose. Yeah, legs should be strong. Good. Arms forward. Good. Take another inhale. Come back to the previous pose. Curl the toes, lift the knees, thighs, and lower belly off the floor. Now, those of you who really feel strong in this pose, you can use the tops of your feet instead. So the toenails would press down. And no, it's not going to be a minute. It's going to be 15 seconds. It should be long enough for about 4 or 5 nice breaths. Good. One more inhale. Back to Sphinx pose. Lay the body down. And again, feel the restorative nature of the back bend, but let the activity be in your legs. Keep them strong. Good. One more inhale. Back to the previous pose. Forearms. Plank. And I'll make a deal with you. We only do this 2 more times today. I know some of you have taken my class a lot. Sometimes we'll do this pose so much that it just exhausts you. And I promise we won't do it again after the next one. Good. Back to Sphinx. Lay the body down. Good. Retract the shoulders a bit. So descend the shoulders, ascend your heart. Pull it forward. Good. Last one. Inhale. Back to forearm plank. This time, if you can, lift your right toes an inch off the floor. Just 1 inch. And then switch. Just an inch. Just an inch. Good. Left toes down. Sphinx pose. Let's go a little deeper. Release your chin to the floor. Slide your thumbs back by your upper ribs. So about a foot back. And then pull your elbows in tight. Lift your right leg off the ground. Really extend back through the toes. And come up to the lowest little cobra you can imagine. So pull your elbows in tight and pull your heart forward. Little back bend, just tiny. Good. Now release your chin and your right foot down and switch. Lift your left leg. Come up to the same height. So pull the elbows in just a little bit. So you shouldn't be straightening the arms yet. Good. Release your chin and your left leg. Lift both feet off the ground. Do the same thing. Same height, so don't go any higher. Elbows in tight. Heart's pulling forward. See if you can float your hands up 1 inch off the floor. Just 1 inch. Lift both hands. Feel your back muscles. Good. Take one more inhale. Child's pose. Open the knees really wide apart. Press the palms down. Press the hips on your heels. Take at least 5 breaths minimum here. Feel your body soften. And oftentimes we do start our practice here. If you're new to the practice, it's important for you to know that you can come back to this pose anytime that you need. So whether you're feeling overwhelmed physically, it's raining today, so sometimes it kind of screws up how you're feeling. Just remember, child's pose is kind of like your place of refuge. Now, with that being said, you'd like to continue. Let's go ahead and with the arms forward, rock back up onto the hands and the knees as you inhale. Curl the toes back to downward facing dog as you exhale. So today's practice from a physical standpoint is basically a combination of some flowing stuff, which we'll do in groups of 3s, which we've already been doing. So we'll do some vinyasas. And then we'll also do some long holds that some of you will be very challenged in. And ultimately, whichever part you feel most challenged in, that's the part I want you to focus on the most. It'll be different for all of us. And since we're on this, let's get on the same page with our flow. Let's do one vinyasa together. Inhale, slide forward to plank position. And then exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. You can do cobra. So this time the arms are a little straighter, lift a little higher as you inhale. And then downward facing dog as you exhale. And those of you that are more experienced can always move into upward facing dog. Good, let's flow. Palms flat, fingers spread wide, heels low, hips high. Take a nice long inhale, bend the knees, look forward, and then step, float, or fly to the top of your mat. Come back to your flat back inhale like we rehearsed. Fold in, exhale, head to the earth. You're going to fly to standing. Sweep your arms up and over your head. And then hands to the heart center. And do it again. Inhale, sweep and reach. Maybe the palms touch. Fold forward, exhale, but you're in no rush. Flat back inhale, fingertips or shin, stepper lightly, hop your feet back, lower slow, keep the elbows in. That's it. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Serve that wave of oxygen, and then exhale, press back to downward facing dog again. And again, just doing things in 3s. Inhale, lift the hips, bend the knees, step or float. Top of the mat, please. Flat back inhale, lengthening, fold and exhale, deepening. Root down to rise, inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. And then hands to heart center, exhale. 2 more times on your own. So 1 breath, 1 movement, reach up. Fall forward on the exhale. Finish this round, and then do 1 more. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Should just take about a minute. Good, so once you're back in down dog, just hold the pose. Good, that's it. Hug the right knee to your chest, squeeze it in. Shoulders over the wrist. Use your core, not your face muscles. Squeeze. Good. Step your right foot a little closer to your right thumb this time. Spin your back foot flat on the ground. Angle your left toes in a little bit. Bring your hands to your hips. Come up to warrior 1 with the hands on the hips. Good. This time, keep the hands where they are. Make your back leg a little bit straighter. Try to get your heel flat on the ground. And then see if maybe you can move that right hip back a little bit. So you're squaring your hips to the front of the room. Good. Bring the hands behind your back. Interlace the fingers. Stay here. Good. Now open your chest really wide. Yeah, try not to dump into your lower back. There's a natural curve in your lower back. Keep that, but don't push it forward anymore. Take 1 more inhale. Fold forward as you exhale. Maybe over the thigh, maybe inside the leg. Good. And then use your breath to go a little bit deeper. So you got to think that every single one of these poses they evolve. They don't end up where they start. Some of them, end up a little deeper. So some of y'all's heads will go a little bit lower to the floor, maybe a little more forward, but you have to use the anchor of the pose. So using the back foot and using the outer right hip under you. Let's come back to full warrior one. Reach your arms straight up above. Really reach up. Downward facing dog, hands to the floor, step back. You can always add a vinyasa if you want. Skip them if you don't. And that's it. Hug the left knee to your chest. Squeeze it in. Shoulders over wrist. Be patient. Good. Try not to anticipate. Just be present. You want to strengthen your core. Good. Aim a little closer to the left thumb. Step your left foot there. Back foot flat. With your hands on the hips, come up to warrior one. And again, it's like you're trying to make a footprint of your right heel onto your yoga mat. So really drive the right leg straight. And maybe you get that left hip back a little more. It doesn't have to be perfect. Hands behind the back, interlace one finger over. Really broaden the collarbone here. So I want you to feel how open you can get, but without dumping into the lower back. That's it. Take one more inhale. Fold forward as you exhale. Again, if you're broad-shouldered, you're going to clip the thigh. That's fine. Maybe you get on the inside. Yeah, some of you have really open shoulders, so the hands are going to start to move even higher up, even further over the head. Remember, there's activity happening in almost every single pose that we do. Good, nice job. Full warrior one. Reach your arms straight up towards the sun. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Hands to the floor. Step back. Add or skip. Vinyasas as necessary. Yeah, nice job. Widen your feet a little bit wider. Let's come back to a yogi squat at the back of the mat. So point the toes out a little bit. Squat down. Good. And then again, find that chest lifting. We'll go a little deeper here. Release your right hand down. Keep it on the inside of the knee. Reach your left arm up. So you're twisting. Good. There's a bind here for some of you if you want to give it a shot. And then switch. And release your left hand down. Slide it a bit to the left. Reach your right arm up. And maybe drop the hand behind the back. Good. Come back to center. Bring the hands to your heart. So it doesn't get much more functional than this pose. This is a pose that you really want to get comfortable in. So not everybody's comfortable in it. So you can always roll up the mat, place it under your heels to elevate your feet for you guys that are really uncomfortable. Otherwise, this is how people used to sit. There's a lot less back problems back then. And reach your arms up, interlace the fingers except your index. Not to mention, this is also how people used to shit. Good. Lift your hips an inch. Keep your knees open. Use your lower belly. Good. Come back down. Good. It's restorative when you're here. It's active when you're here. Come up 2 or 3 inches. Use your lower belly. Good. Come back down. Good. 2 more times. Come up a little higher, 3 or 4 inches. Good. Come back down. Last one. Good. Come all the way up. Halfway. Halfway. Hold it for 3. 2. 1. Go ahead and stand all the way up. Release your arms. Step your left foot in front of you. Turn to the right. Good. Open your arms to the sides and parallel your feet. Get really wide with your legs. Parallel means toes are going to point in just a little. And then really stretch your arms apart. Good. Look over your right hand. Spin your right toes in that direction and bend your right knee. So start with 90-degree bend. And really open your chest. That's it. Good. Try to relax your shoulders a bit. And try to be still. Now, some of you have habits of moving around a lot. That's the challenge for you. Some of you are really strong and you could hold this for an hour, but you wouldn't be able to hold your eyes still. Try to find a combination. Hold your body still, hold your eyes still, but move your breath. Good. Sink a little bit deeper. Good. Just stay in it. Good. Take one more inhale. Go ahead and straighten your right leg. Now listen, angle your back toes in a lot more. If you want to shorten your stance a couple inches, you can, but it's more important to angle the toes in. Now listen, reach as far as you can towards that wall in front of you. Try to touch the cubby holes. Toes are forward. Yeah, keep reaching, keep reaching. Okay, now listen, place your right hand on your right kneecap. Place your left hand on your left hip. Yeah, I know it's a little higher up than you want to go. That's exactly what I want. I want you to get frustrated. Bend your left elbow behind you and open your left chest a lot. Good. Now your right hand's on the right knee, but your right arm's straight, so you're higher up than you want to be. There you go. Good. Now see if you can take the right rib cage and roll it under you more. Yes, roll that right rib cage under you more. Good. Right hand still on the right knee. I don't have time to adjust everybody. Good. Now slide your right hand down just about 2 inches. Yeah, most of us should stay right here. Some of you are a little more bendy. Go down another 2 inches. Now stay right here. Keep your left chest open. Keep your right ribs under you. And listen, can you send your right kneecap more to the right? So do it from your right hip socket. Try to spiral your right hip externally and move your right knee to the right. Good. Now reach your left arm up. Take an inhale. Extend your left arm over your left ear. Reach like crazy. And continue to do those 3 actions. So left ribs open, right ribs under, and right hip opening. Good. Yeah, a lot of people think this pose is a vacation, but if you do it right, you should want out of it right about now. Good. Reach your left arm up with straight legs. Press up to standing. Keep your arms open. Pivot your right foot in. Make sure it's pointed straight ahead. And then turn it around. Spin your left toes forward. Bend your left knee 90 degrees. Warrior 2. This is where you just take a moment to be grateful you're not holding kettlebells in your hands. And relax your shoulders. And again, find the focus. Try to close the eyes if you feel like you're looking around a lot. Yeah. Really stretch that chest open. Soften the tailbone. Can you let your body do the work, not your mind? Good. Sink a little bit deeper into that left leg. Good. Resist a little bit more through that back leg. And just a few more deep breaths. Nice. Really stretch the arms. Good. Take one more inhale. Straighten your left leg. Make sure the right toes are going to angle in quite a bit more for triangle. And then before you rush into it, just reach as far as you possibly can. Let your left hip sink back into your right. Keep reaching. Really reach. Now start a little higher up than you'd like. Left hand, left knee. Right hand, right hip. And then hide your right elbow behind you. Start to bend it and roll your right chest open a lot. Good. Now after you're pretty confident in that right chest being open, start to roll your left rib cage under you. That's really tricky. And you'll start to really open and revolve into that torso. Good. Now slide your left hand down just 2 inches. And again, that's going to be it for a lot of us. Otherwise, maybe go a little bit further down with your left hand. Recheck your right arm. Where's your left kneecap? Can you send it more to the left? Do it from spiraling your left hip socket more open. This is the kind of motion where I say it and I can't see it happening, but you can feel it happening. Reach your right arm up, take an inhale, and then extend your right arm over your right ear. Stretch. Really reach through the arm. Yes, feel that nice lateral stretch. You know, if you guys follow all this stuff we're doing today really closely, you're going to be an inch taller by the time you walk out. Nice job. Right arm straight up. Press up to standing. Bring the hands to your hips. Pivot your left foot in. Make sure your feet are parallel. So toes point in a little bit. Now hide your elbows behind you. Slide your thumbs to your lower back. Push your tailbone down a little bit and start to lean back. So for me, I don't lean back a whole lot here because I don't have a big arch in my lower back. So just kind of lean back until it feels kind of good. That's it. You know, slowly, as you engage your core, lean halfway forward. So the elbows are now pointed up towards the ceiling. Yeah, really feel that stretch across your chest. So you're halfway forward, the hips are pulling back, the chest is pulling forward. Stay here, release your fingertips to the floor in front of your face. Do it again. From your fingertips, pull your chest forward. Take a nice inhale, lengthen out, and then fold in. Grab your ankles or hook your big toes. And then for those of you that aren't quite there, grab your opposite elbows. And just let gravity do the work. Yeah, just really start to surrender. As you know, I really didn't have any plans on making the practice difficult today. But gravity might have something else to say about that. You're either surrendering to it or you're resisting it. Right here, you're surrendering. Even though the legs have a little activity, it's kind of like you're squeezing a beach ball between your thighs. Not crushing it, just holding it. And that's the only time we get to be in this position today, so take advantage of it. And use your breath. Remember, 70% of that attention should be on the breath directly. 30% on anything else that's happening. Good. And then go ahead and release. Shorten your stance an inch or two on each side so it'll be easier to come up. Bring the hands to your hips. Mimic what you did coming down. So elbows point up, pull the heart forward, stand all the way up. And then look to the front of the room and take a big step up to the front of your mat. And we'll come into chair pose. So Utkatasana. You're going to bend the knees and reach your arms up. Yeah, and if you're new and you look around the room, you might see some people with their feet apart. You might see some people with their feet touching. You can do either of those things. But if your feet are touching, your knees should be touching. Good. Now make sure you can see your toes. Pull the hips way, way back. Remember that first downward facing dog we did when we bent our knees? This is pretty much the same pose. Try to relax the neck, get it longer. Really extend through those arms. And take one more inhale here, forward fold. As you exhale, let's start to flow. Flat back inhale, lengthen out. Step or lightly hop your feet back, lower slowly down through the vinyasa. So chaturanga, cobra, up dog, you choose. And then downward facing dog as you exhale. Go and step your right foot through. Good, back foot flat, warrior one. Inhale, reach your arms straight up above. And then hands to the floor as you exhale. Right leg back, lower slow. Good, cobra, upward facing. Find a rhythm to your flow. Down dog, exhale, hips high, head low. Do the same thing on the other side. So left foot steps through, back foot flat, reach up, inhale. Hands down as you exhale, left leg back, lower slow. Core tight. Cobra, up dog, choose whichever feels right. Down dog, hold down dog. Find your steady breath, find your steady mind. And so we call this the second warm-up series, Surya Namaskar B. For a lot of us, it's the most challenging part of the practice. Good. So remember where child's pose is in case you need it. Otherwise, we'll do 3 more, and I'll let you do them on your own. Let's start together. Inhale, lift the hips, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Good, flat back inhale, lengthen out. Fold in, exhale, right into chair pose. Bend the knees, squat down, reach up. And then stand up, hands to the heart. So it all starts here. 3 rounds on your own. Back to chair, 1 breath per movement. Fold forward as you exhale. So flat back inhale, move through the vinyasa, step or hop back, lower slow. Do the same thing as last time. Right and left side, warrior one. You can do crescent if you prefer. And then 2 more rounds. Don't forget about chair pose. And if you're new, follow alongside somebody who looks like they're not lost. Good, have fun. Should take 2.5 minutes or so. Good, last round to go. Good, so we're all at different places right now. Just make sure you take your time, end with the left side. Take your time. We'll wait patiently for you in downward facing dog or child's pose. Now, you can hold forearm plank if you're really high energy today, that's fine. And you get a nice minute here. So 3 options, 1 choice. Just live with the pose that you chose. Oh, nice. Use your breath right now. Really come back to it. Usually at this point, the body just wants a lot of oxygen. Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on. So from downward facing dog, just lift your right leg. And this time I want you to bend your right knee, and I want you to start to open your hip, like you're trying to stack that right hip above your left. And that's it. Keep your back leg nice and strong. Remember, from the inner thigh. So this time I want you to bring your right knee to your right elbow as you exhale, squeeze. Do it again. Right leg back. We'll do 3. Right knee, right tricep, maybe a little higher. That's it. Inhale, lift your right leg high. 1 last time. Right knee, right arm. Squeeze it. Hold it there for 3. Don't sweep it back. 2. Bring the knee to your nose in 1, and then step it all the way through. Right between your hands. Spin your back foot flat. Back to warrior 2. Circle the left arm open. Just make sure that right knee is over the ankle, and then place your right forearm on your right thigh. Place your left hand on your left hip. And do it again. Bend your left elbow behind you. So the actions are going to be the same as we did earlier. Again, I want your hand on your hip, not behind your back. Good. Now, can you roll your right rib cage under you? Now, the trick to this one is to try to stabilize your right hip because it wants to move. Try not to let your right hip move. Good. Now, what we're going to do with that right forearm is slide it forward until it goes off the top of your right kneecap and just down about 2 inches. Good. And then pull that knee in. So you're pulling with your right arm. Good. Reach your left arm up. Take an inhale. And then extend your left arm over your left ear. And if you're doing this right, you should want out. You should not want to hold this pose very long. Yes, really reach to that left arm. Good. Reach your left arm up. Slowly press up to warrior 2. And then turn your right palm up. Call this one reverse warrior. Keep the legs the same. Start to pull that right arm all the way up and back behind you. Yeah, so that right leg's important to stay positioned, knee over ankle. Yes. Feel that length from right armpit all the way down to the right waist. Nice job. Now we set it up, come back to warrior 2, and let's flow. Right forearm, right thigh, left arm over left ear. Let's do it with our breath. So as you inhale, come back to reverse warrior. We'll do 3. And then exhale, right forearm, right knee, left arm over left ear. Really stretch. Good. Again, inhale, sweep it back. Extend through that straight right arm. And then right forearm, right thigh, left arm out and over left ear. 1 more to go. Inhale, pull it all the way back. Let's meet in downward facing dog, hands to the mat. Again, back to your optional vinyasa. Skip it, take it, you choose. And then once you get back to down dog, lift your left leg back, bend the left knee, and start to open your left hip generously. Generously, but sensitively at the same time. Good. Now take your inhale, left knee, left elbow. As you exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Do it again. Left knee, left tricep, maybe a little higher. Inhale, pull the left leg back. 1 more time, left knee, left armpit. Is that too high? Squeeze it for 3. Not your face. 2, don't sweep it back. Knee to nose in 1. Step it all the way through between your hands. Back foot flat. Warrior 2, windmill the right arm all the way open. And first things first, knee over ankle, tailbone soften, back leg strong. And then left forearm, left thigh, right hand, right hip. And then just bend the elbow behind you. Hide it. Really stretch your chest open. Good. Anchor your left hip. Try to keep it where it is. And roll your left rib cage under more. Yes. Good. And then once you do that, start to slide your left forearm forward so it's just over your left kneecap. A little bit down the knee. And then pull in on that knee. Everybody reach the right arm up. Inhale. And then extend over that right ear. Really reach. Really pull. Yes. And then take 3 full cycles of breath. And try not to let up. Nice job. Right arm up. Slowly back to warrior 2. Just turn your left palm facing up. Reverse warrior. Pull it all the way behind you. Again, keep that left knee anchored and feel these side body stretches. They're like the tiramisu of yoga. They're just so sweet. Take another inhale. Back to the forearm on the thigh. Right arm over right ear. So let's flow a little bit like you're dancing with your breath. Inhale, sweep it all the way back. Reverse your flow. And then forearm to thigh, right arm out and over right ear. 2 more to go. Inhale, sweep it back. And then forearm to thigh, right arm out and over right ear. 1 last time. Inhale, pull it back like you have a bow. And we'll just meet in downward facing dog. Hands to the ground. Optional vinyasa. You could skip it or take it. Good. As we've reached the 2/3 marker of the class, 2/3 of the practice already behind us, you guys only have about 10-15 more minutes of activity before we start to wind it all down. Let's just energize through the breath. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. Good. Inhale, lift the hips, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. So come up to your flat back. Inhale, lengthen out, and then fold in as you exhale. Come into chair pose. Hold your chair. This will be the only chair we're really going to hold. Maybe the first one was a few breaths. So listen, I want you to bring your hands to your heart. And as you twist to the right, twist without hooking the elbow on the thigh. So just twist over in that direction. It's kind of like when we were seated and we twisted before we used our elbow. Yeah, don't worry, it's only going to last about 10 more seconds. Can you turn a little bit deeper without using your elbow? Don't touch the elbow yet. Yes. Yeah, turn just a 1/4 inch more. Take one more inhale. Now turn a lot more and hook the elbow on the outside of the thigh. Now, from my experience, I like my feet to be together in these chair twists, feet together, knees together. Gives you more leverage. So, good. Slowly come back to chair as you inhale. And then stand up, hands to the heart as you exhale. Get back to chair. Let's do it again. Bend the knees, reach up. And then with the hands to your heart center, turn as much as you can to the left without using your right elbow. You're basically training yourself how to twist. A lot of us will depend on the leverage. Yeah, can you twist just a little bit more over the next 10 seconds? Try to twist just a couple more inches. Good. Do it on the exhales. Good. That's it. Let's take one more inhale together. Now turn a lot more and hook the elbow on the outer left thigh. Yeah. And then some of you could probably pull that right hip back a little more because you want your hips to be even. If the knees are off kilter, then that means the hips are off kilter. Yeah, so we're just looking for efficiency. Now let's come back to chair pose. Squat as deep as you can until you're on your butt. Boat pose, Navasana. Good, so lift your chest. Yeah, you don't have to straighten the legs. You can if you want. Bring your hands together. Interlace all but the index finger. Keep your chest up and twist to the right. Good. Back to center as you inhale. Switch sides as you exhale. Turn to the left. Good. Come back to center. This time lower halfway. It's a little more than halfway. So the sacrum's going to touch down. You can find a little balance. Lift your right leg and reach your arms up. Good. Bring your palms together and then twist both arms outside of your right thigh. Good. Now listen, both arms up, both legs up. Inhale. Switch. Lower your right leg, both arms outer left leg. Let's flow. Inhale, both legs up. Exhale, switch. Inhale, vertical. Exhale, diagonal. Do it on your own. One breath, one movement. Good. You should only do this if you want to get stronger. Yeah, I'm more concerned with the exhale. Try to lift both shoulders on the exhale. Yeah, that's it. Let's see if you can get the legs nice and straight. Good. 5 more to go. Do 5 on each side. Try to do them really good, really perfect. Just try not to get sloppy. Good. 4. Nice. 3. Yeah, don't rush. Don't rush. Good. Last 2. Last 2. You got this. 1 more full round on each side. 1 more full round. Don't stop. Once you're done with that last side, reach your arms up, reach your legs up, reach as high as you can without touching anything. I'm watching. 5. Shoulders high, head high. 4. 3, lift higher, higher. 3, 2, 1, 0. I know. I'm so mean. Nice job, guys. Downward facing dog. Rock and roll your way back and forth. Plant your palms, step your feet back. Nice. Really good job. And then if you want to add a vinyasa here, take a nice slow vinyasa where you can stretch the belly out and open the chest and all that good stuff. Okay. Good. And so from downward facing dog, just like we did last time we were here, lift your right leg, bend the right knee, and start to open up the hip until it feels kind of good. Now I know what you're thinking. There's still one more elbow to go. Left elbow, right knee, left elbow, squeeze. It's a twist. Squeeze it high. Inhale, right leg lifts back. Let's do 2 more. Right knee, left tricep, maybe a little higher. Good. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Right knee, left arm, squeeze. Hold it there for 3. I know it's not easy. It's hard for me too. 2, knee to nose in 1. Step it all the way through. Crescent pose. So stay on the ball of your left foot and reach your arms up. Just kind of remember back to what we learned earlier. So the tailbone's under you, the inner thighs are squeezing. Let's do what we did in that chair twist. Bring the hands to your heart. Twist without hooking the elbow. First, rotate towards the side of the room. And then start to lower your elbow towards the thigh without actually hooking it. Make your back leg really strong. And over the next 10 seconds, see if you can twist a little bit more with every exhale that you take. Yeah, it's okay to lower the elbow pretty close to the knee. Yeah, just don't touch it quite yet. That's it. Let's take one more inhale. Turn a lot more on this exhale and hook it. Tricep, maybe the tip of the elbow. Some of you can get the whole armpit over there. And if you start to fatigue here, just set the left knee on the floor. It's a nice modification. Otherwise, use your elbow. Press it into the top of that knee and pull that heart forward. That's it. And make sure you apply your breath. Twisting without your breath is like just flexibility without detoxing. Yeah, nice job. Back to crescent, no rush. Hug the inner thighs in. And then last warrior 2 on this side of the day. Spin the back heel flat on the ground and then open the arms. This time loop the left hand behind your back. And if you can grab a hunk of your shorts or maybe wrap the inner right thigh, that'd be great. Turn your right palm facing up. We'll do one more reverse warrior on this side. Again, the side of the body's a big focus today, so really stretch back. Yeah, use that straight right arm. Nice. Looks good. So we've set ourselves up for a bind. Release your right hand to the floor on the inside of your right foot. If you're going to stay in a half bind, a block isn't a bad idea. If you're going to take a full bind, if you want to know how to do it, just slide your right hand under your right leg and grab your left fingertips or your left wrist. Either way, when I'm looking at you, I just want to see your left chest open a lot. I'm looking for 2 things. I'm looking to see your left chest open, and I'm looking at your face to see what kind of facial expression you have, mostly just because it's entertaining. Good. Now, can you keep your left chest open, but start to straighten your right leg? Start to straighten it. Now, if your hands are together, you're not going to get it straight. That's fine. Good. Now look down in front of your right toes. Hop your back foot in a little bit closer, so bend your right knee a little bit. Now, if you have your right hand free, half bound, half moon. Walk your right hand forward, lift your left leg. And those of you who want to give full bound, half moon a shot, give it a shot. Keep the right foot on the ground. The right foot stays on the ground. It's the left leg that lifts. I know, it seems impossible. It's not. It will be today if you're new. Good. They're dropping like flies, everybody. Reach that left arm up. Half moon pose. So you're in the full half moon. It's interesting, like row by row. Some rows are doing good, and then one row full falls apart, the whole thing falls apart. Beautiful. Take one more inhale, both hands on the ground. Keep your left leg lifted. We call it standing splits. Just walk the hands a little closer into your right toes. Yeah, feel how functional the pose is. See if you can square your left hip down so it's even with your right. And then relax your neck. Maybe walk the hands a little closer into your right foot. And you can flirt with lifting your left leg a little higher. It might not go very far, but it might feel pretty good. Good. Take one more inhale. And then bring your feet together as you exhale. Good. Come up to your flat back as you inhale, lengthen out, and then fold in as you exhale. Good. Go ahead and stand all the way up. Sweep your arms over the head. And then bring the hands to your heart center. Good. Bring your hands to your hips. Good. From here, I just want you to step your left foot back about 3 feet. So you're going to keep your hips square. And as you keep your hips square, the back foot's flat, but the toes are angled in quite a bit. Let's get into the shoulders a little more. Bring your hands behind your back. Reverse prayer. So if you're really tight, touch your fists together. If you're really open, palms together. Good. Now distribute almost all the weight into your left heel. Then start to lean forward a little bit. So both legs are straight. Neither knee is locked. Good. Switch legs. Yes. Yeah. Instead of thinking nose to your toes, think crown of your head past your toes. And then maybe a few of you, and I really mean only about 3 of you in here, can go past halfway and keep your back flat. So if I see you going past halfway and rounding your back, I'm going to come thump you. Thump you with love, of course. It would be a nice, loving thump. Good. So nobody's doing it. That's great. Now use your belly. Start to come all the way back up to standing. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Reach your left arm straight up. And do the exact same thing you just did. Go to the exact same place. Lean forward. And then just hold there. This time, try to get your left fingertips more forward. Now, everybody bend your right elbow up towards the ceiling. Start to open your right chest. Good. Keep your left heel heavy. And can you roll your left rib cage under you as you start to twist? Good. Take one more inhale. Bring your left hand to your right shin bone or a block if you have it. If you went past halfway, you can have your hand on the floor. Right arm straight up. Twisting triangle pose. It's a heck of a pose here, guys. Breathe. Roll that right chest open. Pull that left waistline under you. Oh, yes. Last 3. Beautiful. Last 2. Take one more inhale. Downward facing dog. Hands to the ground. Step back. Really, really good job. Take a big inhale through the nose. Open the mouth. Last standing side to go. Lift your left leg. Bend the knee. Open up your hip gradually. And let's visit that right elbow. So left knee, right elbow as you exhale. Twist it across. Good. Inhale. Lift your left leg high. And then do it again. Second time, right elbow. Give it a try. Inhale, pull the left leg back. Third time's the charm. Left knee, right armpit. Squeeze it. Hold it for 3. Relax your face. 2. Knee to nose. And 1. Step it all the way through for crescent pose. Stay on the ball of your right foot. Good. And then bring the hands to your heart center. And then just begin to turn towards that green wall. So that left wall. And remember, you're going to lower the elbow. And you're going to keep your right leg really strong. Lower the elbow without hooking it. And then again, over the next 10, 15 seconds, see how much you can turn. You know, turning like this without the elbow, it's kind of like going on a mountain hike with a huge backpack with lots of weights in it, ankle weights, and then taking them off and being free. You could take one more inhale to lengthen and then twist a lot, hook the elbow on the outer left thigh. Yeah. And then extend through the heart center. Keep that back leg very taut. Unless the knee's down, of course. Where's your breath? It's like, where's Waldo? You're always looking for it. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Good. Slowly but surely back to crescent pose. As you inhale, reach up above. Last warrior 2 of the day. Back foot flat. Open your arms. And then loop the right hand behind your back. If you can, grab your shorts. Maybe wrap the inner thigh. Turn your left palm to the sky. And then reverse warrior. Pull it all the way back behind you. It might be the last side body stretch you get here today. Good. Good. And then everybody slowly find your bind. So again, you're already in a half wrap. So left hand down. Keep the right hand behind your back. Stay there. If you want more, sure. You can loop the left hand under your leg and then maybe connect the hands. But remember, That's really only for you if you keep your chest open. Yeah, towards me. Yeah, now lean lower, and then press your back towards me. Perfect. Good. Now, can you start to straighten your left leg, but don't let your right shoulder dip down. That's it. Now, bend your left knee a little bit, hop your back foot in. And again, if you have your left hand free, find your half bound, half moon. Bend the left knee, walk the left hand forward, lift your right leg up. If you're in the full bind, give it a shot if you want. You got to work that left leg a little straighter from the tippy toes of your right foot. Maybe flirt with lifting it up. Yes, close. Good, and then see if you can get a little lighter in the pose, a little lighter. Good, everybody, full half moon. Left hand down, free the right arm straight up. Beautiful. Take one more inhale. Both hands to the ground. Good, square your right hip even with your left. Standing splits. Walk the hands a little closer into your left toes. Yeah, and then just maybe flirt with lifting your right leg. Relax your face. Relax your neck. Relax your nose. Nice. And take one last inhale here. Feet together as you exhale. Flat back inhale, lengthen out. Fold in as you exhale. Stand all the way up. Sweep your arms overhead. And then hands to the heart center. Good. Hands to hips. Okay, from here, step your right foot back. 3 feet. Same shoulder stretch. Last one of the day. Fists, palms, you choose. And then take a moment here. Your right heel is so heavy that you can almost pick your right toes off the ground. And then start to lean forward. Just try to get your head to go past your left toes. Yeah, maybe go a little bit past the toes. Yeah, try to get longer in your neck. Yeah, for the few of you that went a little past halfway, make sure your back stays flat. Yes. Maybe melt the heels of the hands a little closer. Good, and then slowly press all the way back up. Left hand, left hip, right arm straight up. Last standing pose of the day. Let's get it while it's literally hot. Do the same thing. Lean forward to the same exact place you did. Can you keep the weight in that right heel? Good. Now, once you get to that place, bend your left elbow up, point it up towards the ceiling. Good. Now, can you reach a little further and start to scoop the right rib cage and twist under, under, under. Take one more inhale. Right hand, left shin. For most of us, a blocker, the shin. A few of us use the floor. Reach your left arm straight up and twist. Last big twist of the day. Yes. If you feel uncomfortable in this pose, you are doing something right. Last 3. Open a little wider. Good. Breathe a little deeper. Last 2. Take one more inhale here. Downward facing dog. Oh. Everybody, let's go straight. First, if you want, take one more vinyasa. One more vinyasa. Otherwise, it's the last downward facing dog of the day. And then let's move into pigeon. Lift your right leg, step your right foot through, heel toe your right foot to the left side of your mat. Set your left knee down. Make sure you're on the center of your left knee. Center of your left knee. And then try not to lay over your right leg. Now, if you're really tight here, or if you have injuries, lay on your back and thread the needle pigeon. I can show you a better option. And otherwise, take your time to get into it. So again, if you're really tight, you don't want to lay on the knee. You want to try to get the knee over to the right. Yes. You're welcome. And then some of you are going to fold over the leg. Some of you are going to use your forearms and keep it more active. Either way, all of you should use your breath to get a little deeper. With every exhale that you take, see if you can drop a little bit deeper into the pose. Become a little more still, a little more open. Let everybody slowly come back to the palms. Instead of switching sides, let's take a little detour. Swing your left leg forward to the front of the mat. Place the soles of the feet together. Pull the feet in pretty close to you. And just sit nice and tall. Let the shoulders draw down. Let the chest lift. If you're pretty tight, you just stay here. Otherwise, bend the elbows, pull yourself in a little deeper. If you're open in the lower back, you could walk the hands forward. And if you're a little tighter, you can use your elbows to encourage your thighs to press down. And either way, feel the synergistic part of the practice. So the body working together, the inner thighs, the groin, the lower back, the hips, the breath working with that. Nice job. Everybody switch sides, pigeon pose. So go ahead and swing that right leg behind you. For those of you that are tight, again, just lay on your back. Let's say if your left knee is injured and your right knee is not, then you'll modify this side, not having modified the last. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself here. You want to feel sensations. You don't want to feel pain. Sometimes when you're a little newer to the practice, there's a fine line between sensation and pain. So if you're feeling like that fine line is too hard to distinguish, just lay on your back. It's better to be safe than sorry. And again, use the exhale. See if you can let go a little bit here. Nice job, everybody. Come up to the palms. Again, swing your right leg forward. Both legs extend out in front of you. Last seated stretch. And reach your arms up. Get as tall as you can. Really, really reach. Lean halfway forward, just halfway. See if you can get a little bit longer. Pull out of that lower back. And then if you can easily grab the feet, do that. Maybe bend the knees if you need to. Or you can always use a shirt or a towel and strap your feet up if you want. Good. Last inhale here. Let's lay all the way down onto our backs where we'll be the rest of the practice. Straight into happy baby pose. Just reach out, grab the outer edges of the feet. Pull the knees down, feet over the knees. Lots of times we're taught to lengthen the spine. See if you can get broader in the spine. So the back broadens, the shoulders broaden. The lower back broadens. And use the breath to broaden the ribs. Good. Let's go ahead and place the feet on the floor. Feet are flat, hips width apart with your feet. Go ahead and press the feet down. Gently lift your hips up off the ground. And push the tailbone forward. Try to lengthen out through your lower back. So bridge pose. You're welcome to connect the hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers. And we're rolling the shoulders underneath the spine a little bit more. Now you may prefer to keep your arms down by your sides. Maybe just grab the edges of your mat so that you can prop your heart up a little more. And use your inhale here. The breath here is the medicine of the practice. You really got to think of it that way. You're writing your own prescription in a sense, and all the poses offer something different. Back bends are all about energy, more about releasing energy that's already in you than gaining new energy. And if you know you're going to go into a deeper back bend, now would be the time. If you don't know how, let's save it for a sunny day. And take one last inhale, heart open wide, release down as you exhale. Bring the hands to the inner thighs. Just pull the knees apart from each other, wide straddle stretch. Some of you can hook your big toes if you're a little bendier and straighten the legs out to the sides. Just feel the inner groin, the inner thighs, full range of motion. Lower back still contacts the floor. As you release the toes, close the legs together. Keep the legs straight up in the air. And just press your palms on the floor. You can stay right here if you'd like. Otherwise, plow pose. Press the palms down and try to rock your feet up and over your head. Don't be concerned with the toes touching the floor. And so you're in an inversion either way. And you're welcome to bring the hands to your lower back for shoulder stand if you pull the elbows in a little closer towards each other. And you lift your legs one by one. And you'll be a little more inverted, a little more vertical, just helping to expedite that process of reversing the natural flow of gravity that we're used to. And they say it's one of the most potent of all the poses you can do, just going upside down. And then if you did make it all the way up to shoulder stand, slowly come back to plow pose. Just revisit the previous pose. Take a moment there. Let the knees relax down by your ears. And then extend the arms forward, palms flat. Make the hands heavy and start to lower out of your spine. Take your time. One vertebrae, one rib at a time. Eventually, the lower back will touch the ground, and when it does, let the knees bend into the chest, and finally, drop your knees to the left. You could cross the legs if you want to go a little deeper for your final spinal twist. Just open your right arm over to the right, and any remaining tension in the body, just see if you can let it go. And then come back to center line. Let the knees fall over to the right. Same thing, other side. So the idea is that you're so present at this point, you're so in tune with how you're feeling, that you can actually soften on command. Do one last body scan. If you feel any tension, any residual stress, see if you can let it relax. Come back to center line. Give your knees a nice hug into the chest, creating the ultimate tension before we relax. Curl the nose to the knees and the knees to the nose. And just take one more big inhale. Hold it in. Hold it for 5, 4. Just squeeze a little tighter. Really squeeze. 3, 2, 1, 0. Release everything into your final resting pose. Just lay on your back. Let the legs flop open. Extend them forward. Let the palms turn up, arms down by your sides. And for the first time in 90 minutes, let the attention to your breath go. Back to your natural pattern of breathing. And probably not so much your natural pattern of thinking. It's because usually our mind just cycles through the same stuff over and over. And the idea behind the physical practice that we just did is that there's more space, not just in the body, but more space between your thoughts. And ultimately, that's when they say the yoga actually happens. Good. Enjoy the quiet mind. Let your body rest so it can absorb all the benefits. Take these last few minutes, and the deeper you let go, the deeper the reward will be. Good. Welcome to yoga. And from here, everybody just start to deepen your breath. And place the right hand over your belly. Place the left hand over your heart. Just take a moment to connect. And feel the connection to yourself. Mind, body. And then extend your arms over your head. Really stretch the toes forward, extend those arms back. Feel one last side body stretch. And then bend the knees, roll over to your right side. And after a moment, just pressing your way up to a final seated position where we'll close today's practice, sitting up nice and tall, almost exactly like we began the practice. Only this time, place the hands together in front of your heart center and just take a moment to acknowledge the fact that you showed up however you got here, whether it was spontaneous, or you planned it, or you just walked by. And whatever the case may be, you're here for a reason. And just be grateful for it. Let's take one last big inhale through the nose. Hold it in. Bow the mind to the heart. Open the mouth. Let it out. Namaste.